What if I told you that every moment of your life, every decision, every encounter, every seemingly random event is part of a grand, invisible design? That the universe operates not on chaos, but on a hidden rhythm, a symphony of synchronicities guiding you towards something greater. Imagine this. You're standing at a crossroads, unsure of which path to take. Suddenly, a stranger appears, offering a piece of advice that feels eerily tailored to your situation. Or perhaps, you've been wrestling with a problem for weeks, only to stumble upon the exact solution in a book you randomly picked up. These moments, too precise to be accidents, are not mere coincidences. They are whispers from the universe, clues to a deeper truth about reality itself. But here's the paradox. We live in a world that worships logic, control, and predictability. We're taught to believe that success is the result of hard work, planning, and rational decision-making. Yet, the most transformative moments of our lives often come from the unexpected, the chance meeting, the sudden inspiration, the perfect timing that defies explanation. How do we reconcile this contradiction? How do we navigate a reality that is both orderly and mysterious, both predictable and profoundly unknowable? Have you ever stopped to consider this? What if the key to unlocking your greatest potential lies not in controlling every detail of your life, but in learning to recognize and align with these moments of perfect timing? What if the universe is constantly trying to guide you, but you've been trained to ignore its signals? This is the mystery of synchronicity, the phenomenon of meaningful coincidences that seem to defy logic yet carry profound significance. Carl Jung, the pioneering psychologist, describes synchronicity as an acausal connecting principle, a way for the universe to communicate through patterns and symbols. But synchronicity is more than just a psychological concept. It's a doorway to a deeper understanding of reality, a glimpse into the hidden intelligence that governs our lives. Yet, for all its beauty, synchronicity is also deeply unsettling. It challenges our belief in a purely material, mechanical universe. It forces us to confront the possibility that there is more to life than what we can see, measure, or control. And it raises a haunting question. If the universe is trying to guide us, why do so many of us feel lost, disconnected, and out of sync with life's rhythms? The answer lies in the way we've been conditioned to see the world. From the moment we're born, we're taught to trust only what we can see, touch, and prove. We're told that success is a matter of effort and strategy, that luck is random, and that the universe is indifferent to our struggles. But what if this worldview is incomplete? What if the universe is not a cold, uncaring machine, but a living, responsive intelligence that communicates through synchronicities? Think about the last time you experienced a moment of perfect timing. Maybe it was a job offer that came just as you were about to give up, or a chance encounter that led to a life-changing opportunity. In that moment, did you feel a sense of awe, as if something larger than yourself was at work? Or did you brush it off as luck, refusing to acknowledge the deeper pattern at play? The truth is, synchronicities are happening all around us, all the time, but most of us are too distracted, too skeptical, or too afraid to notice them. We've been trained to dismiss these moments as coincidences, to explain them away with logic, or to ignore them altogether. And in doing so, we cut ourselves off from the very forces that could guide us toward our greatest potential. But what if you could learn to recognize these patterns? What if you could tap into the hidden intelligence of the universe and use it to transform your life? What if perfect timing wasn't a matter of luck, but a skill you could cultivate? This is the journey we're about to embark on, a journey into the heart of synchronicity, the alchemy of perfect timing, and the hidden forces that shape our lives. Along the way, we'll explore the science, philosophy, and spirituality behind these mysterious phenomena. We'll uncover the psychological barriers that keep us from noticing them, and we'll discover practical tools for aligning with their guidance. But before we dive deeper, let's pause and consider this. What if the universe has been trying to talk to you all along? What if the signs, the patterns, the moments of perfect timing are not random, but deliberate? What if the key to unlocking your greatest potential lies not in controlling every detail of your life, but in learning to trust the flow of something greater? This is the spark, the first step toward understanding the alchemy of perfect timing. And as we move forward, you'll begin to see that reality is far more mysterious, far more interconnected, and far more alive than you've been led to believe. Here's a question that haunts me. If synchronicities are happening all around us, why do so many of us fail to notice them? Why do we brush off the moments of perfect timing as mere coincidences, dismissing them as random or insignificant? The answer lies in the veil, a thick, invisible barrier that separates us from the deeper intelligence of the universe. This veil is not a physical object, but a construct of our minds, woven from the threads of societal conditioning, fear, and self-doubt. From a tender age, we're taught to see the world in a certain way. We're told that success is the result of hard work and rational planning, that luck is random. This worldview, rooted in materialism and logic, leaves no room for mystery, intuition, or the subtle whispers of synchronicity. It's a lens that filters out the extraordinary, reducing reality to a series of cause and effect relationships. But this lens is not natural, it's imposed. It's the product of centuries of cultural conditioning, designed to keep us focused on the tangible, the measurable, the controllable. Think about it. From childhood, we're taught to memorize facts, follow rules, and obey authority. Creativity, imagination, and abstract thinking are often pushed aside in favor of logical reasoning and hard data. If you couldn't see it, weigh it, or measure it, it wasn't real. And questioning this model, that was discouraged. This conditioning creates a psychological barrier, a kind of mental blindness that prevents us from noticing the signs and patterns around us. It's like living in a room with the curtains drawn, unaware of the sunlight streaming in just outside. We become so focused on the world we've been taught to see that we miss the deeper, more mysterious reality that lies beneath. But the veil is not just a product of societal conditioning, it's also reinforced by our own fears and insecurities. Deep down, many of us are afraid to acknowledge synchronicities because they challenge our sense of control. They force us to confront the possibility that we are not the sole architects of our lives, that there are forces at work beyond our understanding. This can be terrifying, especially in a world that values independence and self-reliance above all else. And then there's the fear of judgment. Talk openly about synchronicities, and you risk being labeled superstitious, irrational, or even delusional. The people who embrace these signs are often cast aside as spiritual nuts, while those who conform to the materialist worldview are praised as logical, intelligent, and reasonable. This social pressure keeps many of us silent, unwilling to share our experiences or explore their deeper meaning. But the veil is not just a barrier, it's also a mirror. It reflects our deepest fears, our doubts, and our resistance to change. It shows us where we're stuck, where we're holding on to old patterns and beliefs that no longer serve us. And it challenges us to confront the question, are we willing to lift the veil? Are we willing to see the world as it truly is? in all its mystery and complexity? To understand the veil more deeply, we must turn to the insights of psychology and philosophy. Carl Jung, who coined the term synchronicity, believed that these meaningful coincidences were expressions of the collective unconscious, a vast, shared reservoir of human thought and experience. He saw synchronicities as moments when the deeper order of reality breaks through the surface, offering us glimpses of a hidden intelligence. But Jung also recognized that most people are blind to these moments. He attributed this blindness to what he called the rational mind, the part of us that seeks logical explanations and dismisses anything that doesn't fit within its framework. This rational mind, while useful in many ways, can also become a prison, trapping us in a narrow, limited view of reality. Philosophers like Friedrich Nietzsche and Arthur Schopenhauer also grappled with the tension between the seen and the unseen. Nietzsche spoke of the eternal recurrence, the idea that life is a series of repeating patterns and cycles. Schopenhauer, on the other hand, saw the world as a manifestation of a deeper will, a force that drives all things, yet remains hidden from view. Both thinkers understood that reality is far more mysterious than it appears, and that our perception of it is shaped by our beliefs, fears, and desires. But the veil is not just a philosophical concept, it's also a neurological phenomenon. Modern neuroscience has shown that our brains are wired to filter reality based on what we expect to see. This is known as the reticular activating system, a network in the brainstem that determines what information reaches our conscious mind. If we don't believe in synchronicities, if we don't expect to see them, our brains simply filter them out. This filtering process is reinforced by cognitive biases like confirmation bias, which causes us to notice information that confirms our existing beliefs and ignore information that challenges them. If you believe that the universe is random and indifferent, you'll interpret synchronicities as mere coincidences. But if you believe that the universe is intelligent and responsive, you'll start to see patterns everywhere. The veil, then, is not just a barrier, it's a choice. It's the choice to stay within the confines of the known, the familiar, the safe. It's the choice to ignore the whispers of the universe, to dismiss the moments of perfect timing as luck or chance. But it's also a choice that comes at a cost. When we ignore synchronicities, we cut ourselves off from the guidance, the opportunities, and the deeper meaning they offer. So how do we lift the veil? How do we begin to see the world as it truly is, in all its mystery and beauty? The answer lies in a shift in perception, in mindset, in the way we relate to reality itself. It's a shift that requires courage, curiosity, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. But before we explore that shift, let's pause and consider this. What if the veil is not just a barrier, but a test? What if the universe is waiting for us to prove that we're ready to see beyond the surface, to step into a deeper understanding of reality? What if the key to lifting the veil lies not in seeking answers, but in asking the right questions? This is the challenge and the opportunity that lies before us. And as we move forward, you'll begin to see that the veil is not as solid as it seems. It's a curtain waiting to be pulled back. And on the other side lies a world of wonder, connection, and infinite possibility. Have you ever been in a situation where you're walking down a busy street, lost in thought? You meet an acquaintance whom you've not seen in a while, or a stranger suddenly stops you to ask for directions. As you help them, they mention a phrase, a book, an idea your colleague had mentioned at work that feels strangely relevant to the problem you've been wrestling with. You brush it off as a coincidence, but deep down, you can't shake the feeling that something larger is at work. Days later, you stumble upon the same phrase, the same idea, in a completely unrelated context. This time, you pause. This time, you wonder, is the universe trying to tell me something? This is the ripple effect of synchronicity, a phenomenon that quietly shapes our lives in ways we often fail to recognize. Synchronicities are not just isolated moments of perfect timing. They are part of a larger pattern, a web of connections that stretches across time and space. They are the universe's way of nudging us toward alignment, guiding us toward opportunities, relationships, and experiences that resonate with our deepest desires and purpose. But here's the unsettling truth. Most of us are unaware of this ripple effect. We go through life focused on the surface, the to-do lists, the deadlines, the immediate concerns, while the deeper currents of synchronicity flow beneath our awareness. We miss the signs, the patterns, the moments of perfect timing that could transform our lives. And in doing so, we remain disconnected from the hidden intelligence that governs reality. To understand how synchronicities shape our lives, we must first understand how they work. At their core, synchronicities are a form of communication, a language that the universe uses to guide us. This language is not made of words, but of symbols, patterns, and timing. It's a language that speaks directly to our subconscious, bypassing the rational mind and tapping into our intuition. Carl Jung, who spent decades studying synchronicity, believed that these moments of alignment were expressions of the unus mundus, the idea that everything in the universe is fundamentally connected. He saw synchronicities as glimpses of this deeper unity, moments when the boundaries between the physical and the metaphysical, the conscious and the unconscious, dissolve. But synchronicities are not just metaphysical phenomena. They are also deeply personal. They reflect our inner state, our thoughts, emotions, and intentions. When we are in alignment, when our thoughts, emotions, and actions are in harmony with our true purpose, synchronicities multiply. They become a kind of feedback loop, confirming that we are on the right path and guiding us toward even greater alignment. Conversely, when we are out of alignment, when we are stuck in fear, doubt, or resistance, synchronicities become scarce. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, does not force us to pay attention. It simply waits patiently for us to notice the signs and take action. This dynamic is not just a matter of belief, it's a matter of energy. Everything in the universe, including our thoughts and emotions, operates on specific frequencies. When we are in a high vibrational state, filled with gratitude, joy, and purpose, we attract synchronicities like a magnet. But when we are in a low vibrational state, mired in negativity, fear, or self-doubt, we repel them. This is why some people seem to live in a state of constant flow, where everything falls into place effortlessly, while others struggle against a tide of obstacles and setbacks. The difference lies not in luck, but in alignment. Those who experience frequent synchronicities are not special. They are simply attuned to the deeper rhythms of reality. The ripple effect of synchronicity goes beyond the individual. It also shapes our collective reality. Synchronicities are not just personal, they are relational. They connect us to others, creating a web of meaning and purpose that transcends our individual lives. Think about the people who have had the greatest impact on your life. The mentors, the friends, the strangers who appeared at just the right moment. These encounters are not random. They are part of a larger pattern, a cosmic choreography that brings us together for a reason. This relational aspect of synchronicity is particularly evident in what Jung called the collective unconscious, the shared reservoir of human experience that connects us all. When we experience a synchronicity, we are not just tapping into our own subconscious, we are tapping into this collective field, drawing on the wisdom, the energy, and the guidance of the whole. But the ripple effect of synchronicity is not always positive. Just as synchronicities can guide us toward alignment, they can also reveal where we are out of sync. They can act as warnings, showing us where we are stuck, where we are resisting, where we are out of alignment with our true purpose. These moments can be uncomfortable, even painful, but they are also opportunities for growth and transformation. Let us look at it from this perspective for a moment. What if the challenges, the setbacks, the moments of perfect timing that seem to work against us are also synchronicities? What if they are the universe's way of pushing us toward a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world? This is the paradox of synchronicity. It is both a guide and a mirror. It shows us where we are and where we need to go. It reflects our inner state and nudges us toward alignment. And it does all of this not through force, but through subtle, almost imperceptible ripples that spread through our lives and the lives of those around us. But here's the question: are we willing to pay attention? Are we willing to see the patterns, to follow the signs, to trust the guidance of the universe? Or will we continue to dismiss these moments as coincidences, brushing them off as random or insignificant? The choice is ours. And as we move forward, you'll begin to see that the ripple effect of synchronicity is not just a phenomenon, it's a call to action. It's an invitation to step into alignment, to embrace the deeper rhythms of reality, and to co-create a life of meaning, purpose, and flow. Here's a truth that might unsettle you. Synchronicities are not rare. They are happening all around you, all the time. The reason you don't notice them is not because they aren't there, but because you haven't yet learned to see them. The veil that separates you from the deeper intelligence of the universe is not impenetrable. It's a filter, a lens that can be adjusted. And the key to adjusting that lens lies not in seeking answers, but in asking the right questions. What if I told you that aligning with synchronicity is not about waiting for the universe to send you signs, but about becoming the kind of person who notices them? It's about shifting your mindset, your energy, and your awareness to a frequency that resonates with the hidden rhythms of reality. This is the awakening, the moment when you realize that synchronicity is not something that happens to you, but something that happens through you. The first step in this awakening is to cultivate awareness. Most of us move through life on autopilot, our attention scattered by distractions, worries, and endless to-do lists. We're so focused on the surface of things that we miss the deeper currents flowing beneath. But awareness is like a muscle. It can be strengthened with practice. Start by paying attention to the small things. The song that plays just as you think of someone, the book that falls open to the exact page you needed, the stranger who says something that feels eerily relevant to your life. These moments are not random. They are clues, breadcrumbs left by the universe to guide you. The more you notice them, the more they will appear. But awareness alone is not enough. To truly align with synchronicity, you must also cultivate trust. This is where most people stumble. We've been conditioned to doubt, to second guess, to seek certainty before taking action. But synchronicity thrives in the unknown, in the spaces where logic ends and intuition begins. Trusting synchronicity means letting go of the need to control every detail of your life and instead allowing yourself to be guided by the flow of something greater. This trust is not blind, it's rooted in experience. The more you follow the signs, the more you'll see how they lead you toward opportunities, relationships, and experiences that align with your deepest desires and purpose. Over time, This creates a feedback loop. The more you trust, the more synchronicities you experience, and the more you experience, the more you trust. But trust is not just a mindset, it's also an energy. Synchronicities are drawn to high vibrational states, feelings of gratitude, joy, and openness. When you're in this state, you become a magnet for synchronicities, attracting them effortlessly into your life. Conversely, when you're stuck in fear, doubt, or negativity, you repel them. This is why practices like meditation, mindfulness, and gratitude are so powerful. They raise your vibration and align you with the flow of synchronicity. Another key to aligning with synchronicity is intention. The universe responds to clarity. When you set a clear intention, whether it's to find a new job, heal a relationship, or discover your life's purpose, you send a signal into the field of reality. This signal acts like a homing beacon, drawing synchronicities towards you. But intention is not just about what you want, it's also about how you feel. The more aligned your intention is with your true purpose, the stronger the signal you send. This is where many people get stuck. They set intentions based on what they think they should want, rather than what they truly desire. But synchronicity doesn't respond to shoulds, it responds to authenticity. To align with synchronicity, you must be willing to dig deep, to uncover your true desires, and to set intentions that resonate with your soul. Once you've set your intention, the next step is to take action. Synchronicities are not just signs to observe, they are invitations to act. When you see a sign, when you feel a nudge, when you experience a moment of perfect timing, don't hesitate. Follow the guidance, even if it doesn't make logical sense. This is where trust becomes action, where the rubber meets the road. But taking action doesn't mean forcing things. It means moving with the flow, allowing yourself to be guided by the signs and patterns around you. It's a delicate balance between effort and surrender, between control and trust. And it's a skill that can be cultivated with practice. Finally, aligning with synchronicity requires a shift in perspective. Most of us see reality as something fixed, something separate from ourselves. But synchronicity reveals a deeper truth. Reality is not fixed. It's fluid, responsive, and deeply interconnected. When you align with synchronicity, you step into this fluid reality, becoming a co-creator of your life rather than a passive observer. This shift in perspective is not just philosophical, it's practical. It changes the way you see the world, the way you interact with others, and the way you approach challenges. It opens you up to new possibilities, new connections, and new levels of meaning and purpose. But here's the most important thing to remember. Aligning with synchronicity is not a one-time event. It's a lifelong practice. It's a journey of awakening, of learning to see the world as it truly is, in all its mystery and beauty. And it's a journey that requires courage, curiosity, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. So here's the question. Are you ready to take the first step? Are you ready to lift the veil, to adjust the lens, to align with the deeper rhythms of reality? Are you ready to become the kind of person who notices the signs, who trusts the guidance, who acts on the whispers of the universe? This is the awakening. And as you move forward, you'll begin to see that synchronicity is not just a phenomenon, it's a way of being. It's a way of living in alignment with the hidden intelligence of the universe, of co-creating a life of meaning, purpose, and flow. Think about this. You wake up one morning and the world feels different. The air is charged with possibility. The light seems sharper, and every moment feels imbued with meaning. As you go about your day, you notice things, small, seemingly insignificant details that suddenly stand out. A bird lands on your windowsill, its song echoing a melody you've been humming all week. A stranger smiles at you, their eyes holding a glimmer of recognition, as if they know something you don't. A book falls off a shelf, opening to a page that answers a question you've been pondering for days. This is what it feels like to live in harmony with synchronicity, to exist in a state of flow where the universe feels less like a cold, indifferent machine and more like a living, breathing symphony. In this state, you are no longer a passive observer of reality. You are an active participant, a co-creator, a musician in the grand orchestra of existence. But here's the truth. This state of harmony is not something you stumble upon by chance. It's something you cultivate, something you choose, moment by moment, day by day. It's the culmination of awareness, trust, intention, and action, a way of being that aligns you with the deeper rhythms of reality. Living in harmony with synchronicity begins with a shift in perception. You start to see the world not as a series of random, disconnected events, but as a web of meaning and connection. Every person, every experience, every moment becomes a thread in this web, contributing to the larger pattern of your life. This shift in perception is not just intellectual, it's visceral. It changes the way you feel, the way you think, the way you move through the world. In this state, synchronicities are no longer rare or surprising. They become a natural part of your daily life. You begin to expect them, to look for them, to trust them. And as you do, they multiply, creating a feedback loop of alignment and flow. This is the magic of synchronicity. The more you notice it, the more it notices you. But living in harmony with synchronicity is not just about noticing the signs. It's about responding to them. It's about taking action, even when the path ahead is unclear. It's about trusting the guidance of the universe, even when it leads you into the unknown. And it's about embracing the paradox of control and surrender, knowing when to take the reins and when to let go. This balance is not always easy to achieve. There will be moments of doubt, moments when the signs are unclear or the path feels uncertain. But these moments are not failures. They are opportunities. They are invitations to deepen your trust, to refine your awareness, to strengthen your connection to the hidden intelligence of the universe. One of the most powerful tools for maintaining this balance is gratitude. Gratitude is the language of synchronicity. It raises your vibration, aligns you with the flow of the universe, and opens you up to even more signs and patterns. When you live in a state of gratitude, you become a magnet for synchronicities, attracting them effortlessly into your life. But gratitude is not just a feeling, it's a practice. It's something you cultivate, moment by moment, day by day. It's about noticing the small things, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of laughter, the kindness of a stranger, and allowing them to fill you with a sense of wonder and appreciation. Another key to living in harmony with synchronicity is community. Synchronicities are not just personal, they are relational. They connect us to others, creating a web of meaning and purpose that transcends our individual lives. When you share your experiences, when you listen to the stories of others, when you allow yourself to be guided by the collective wisdom of the group, you deepen your connection to the symphony of synchronicity. This relational aspect of synchronicity is particularly evident in what Carl Jung called the collective unconscious, the shared reservoir of human experience that connects us all. When you live in harmony with synchronicity, you tap into this collective field, drawing on the wisdom, the energy, and the guidance of the whole. But perhaps the most profound aspect of living in harmony with synchronicity is the sense of purpose it brings. When you align with the deeper rhythms of reality, you begin to see your life not as a series of random events, but as a story with meaning, with direction, with a purpose that transcends your individual existence. This sense of purpose is not something you create, it's something you discover. It's the thread that runs through your synchronicities, the pattern that emerges from the web of meaning and connection. And as you follow this thread, as you align with this pattern, you begin to see that your life is not just your own. It's part of something larger, something infinite, something eternal. So here's the final question. Are you ready to step into this symphony? Are you ready to live in harmony with synchronicity? To become a co-creator of your reality? To align with the deeper rhythms of existence? The choice is yours. And as you take this final step, remember this. Synchronicity is not just a phenomenon, it's a way of being. It's a way of living in alignment with the hidden intelligence of the universe, of co-creating a life of meaning, purpose, and flow. This is the symphony, and you are the musician.
Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was insightful and educative. If you like this video, do well to click like, share, and subscribe for more insightful videos like this. See you later. Bye.